Okay, so over the last little while, you guys have been telling me about weird and wonderful things in the world, and I have been turning them into miniatures. I asked y'all over on my Instagram which weird aquatic creatures you would like to see me turn into miniatures for this video. I put an emphasis on weird because that seems to be what you guys want to see. Y'all are nasty. The boxfish. What's a boxfish? I like your little dots and I like your attitude. Flapjack octopus. Oh, I know you're in the other room and like you're not supposed to respond to stuff, honey, but holy crap, this octopus is cute.
A little beak, a little cat ear.
He's like, We have our first, absolutely have to do it. I'm doing the flapjack octopus because I feel like maybe I might even get kind of brave and do it in both forms. Inside me, there are two octopuses. Sarcastic fringe head? Are you talking about me? What's a sarcastic fringe head? Whoa! Oh my lord! Ah! I am gonna have very bad dreams about, whoa. Now I see why it's sarcastic. I mean, it's relatable. I behave that way when I'm hungry. Moray eels, they like to be pet. What, does she have like teeth of glass? Yo, that's actually kind of fire. Those grills though. Oh, this picture. Sea angels. What's a sea angel? Yes, that is adorable. That is a little baby. Making my way through the sea. I'm a bean, super cute. Watch my poop. It's time for our all caps submission of the day. Can I say manatee? I think it suits you. Same vibe. I'll take that as a compliment. Manatees are chill. I met a manatee when I went to Japan. No, that was a walrus. That walrus was chill. I think I could try a manatee. Sea butterfly. This looks like some sort of ethereal rendering of an angel. You guys know that the reason that I'm making this video today is because I'm going to be making you guys an axolotl. That's kind of gonna be the challenge of today. I've been avoiding making the axolotl because I'm nervous about those little cheek flaps. I'm nervous about them. They stick out, and that to me spells danger when you're trying to work with clay that people might be playing with. What is that? So I'm gonna whisper this in here because I know Mr. Cuttlefish wants me to do this one. This is also one of his favorite animals, and he's like in the next room, and I don't want him to know that I'm gonna make it for him. So there are so many good replies that I may have to do a part 2. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to do a part 2 of this. I will happily do one. Let's go have some fun, because I need it. I can tell you need it too. Look at this man. Mossy back. Oh, he's got a little garden on his back, and all the little fish are like, excuse me, can we have some of your back salad? Back salad when your baby is a turtleneck. I'm honored that someone thinks I am the same vibe as a manatee. Let's get to work. Instead of just opting for a boring gray clay, I decided that I was going to use a silver so that we could have the shimmery texture of this sea cow's flesh. That sounds worse than it is. I think for these guys, because the manatees have like sort of those invisible pinhole eyes, like they constantly look like they're really sleepy, I am going to try something that I normally wouldn't. I think we'll use some gray eyes so that it blends in just a little bit. I've never made anything with this shape, and I really like it. Hit him with one of these. Now that I've figured out what I'm doing, I'm just gonna sculpt the rest of these and see if there's anything I want to add as a finishing touch. So now that I've got all of these guys finished, I think it would be really fun if we did actually add a little bit of back salad to some of these. I have these flowers that I cut out and then didn't end up using for a project that I have been meaning to use for like a year. So I thought maybe I could add a little bit of the algae and then maybe a couple flowers for some whimsy. He needs a back salad, an actual back salad. So I looked up why manatees get back salad in the first place, and it's actually kind of sad. They don't have a natural partner in the ocean that will clean their backs for them. Maybe they need a business model, like opening a salad bar on their back to help them out. I'll show these in more detail in the Moody Glamour shots. For now, it's time for the mantis shrimp. Normally, so that we have like these cute little lineups in my thumbnail, I will make 5 of something, and also because, I don't know, like 5 is a good number. This mantis shrimp though, like I don't know how many I'm gonna be able to make. And also, they are full of fiddly little bits. So last time we did an animal that was kind of weirdy, we ended up using cosclay. If you're not familiar with cosclay, it's sort of this like fun rubbery clay. I'm also speaking a little bit more softly because I don't think that Mr. Cuttlefish has caught on to the fact that we are doing the mantis shrimp. Is it just me, or does he look like he's having an existential crisis? My issue with cosplay is that it's like crumbly ricotta cheese. Like it gets everywhere. Stick together, you guys. All you have in this life is each other. Guys got tickets to the gun show. Oh, this one's a little bit shrimpier, but maybe when I squish it. The big challenge for me is gonna be these like turbulous eyes. I think we need a wire. I actually have some eyes left over from when we did those zombie mushrooms, so I think these are actually kind of perfect. Oh, yes! This is exactly what I wanted. What a little man with your rump. Look at that. I'm gonna pop this guy in the oven and then let's give him a paint job.
Before I'm painting anything, I'm protecting the eyes with liquid latex and breaking other more important portions of our sculpture.
No, his whisker. I'll fix it later. It'll be okay. And I'm gonna need like 20 more colors.
Now you've probably been wondering why the mantis shrimp is so significant to Mr. Cuttlefish. It was actually the first conversation that we ever had. I said, hey, my name is Karis, and then he proceeded to inform me that mantis shrimp have the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom and that they can polarize light and 16 different types of color. We can only do 3. But the main reason for his interest in the mantis shrimp is the club-like claw that can punch with the force of a bullet. They actually have to have specially crafted tanks for mantis shrimp because they've been known to bust regular aquariums. They also have something that's called cavitation bubbles. Basically, these are assassination bubbles. They create shock waves, and nothing can escape the shock waves, and the bubbles are the end. They are end time bubbles. Speaking of end time bubbles, our mantis shrimp is ready.
Let's go introduce him to Mr. Cuttlefish. He's so cute. Put your hands up. Open your eyes, boy.
You made the mantis shrimp. Punchy, 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 punchy.
He punch.
He's tired of my nonsense.
We'll see more of that shrimpy at the end in the moody glamour shots, but for now it's time for the Flapjack octopus.
I don't think I needed to do this to the underside, and now it just looks really scary under there. I could have just done this without doing this. You live, you learn. Try and cover up that strange little hole. I can already tell that this is going to be really fun for me. It is kind of nostalgic to be making something with tentacles. Back in the day when I was first starting to sculpt, I made these creatures called littlings, and the first few batches of them, because I didn't know how to do like limbs or anything else, they all had tentacles, and it was part of why I called myself Karis Cuttlefish. I was like obsessed with cuttlefish at that point in time. So that's where I got Karis Cuttlefish from. And also because cuttlefish have photophores. We can talk about that another time.
Okay, so I did a little bit of research about the Flapjack octopus, and I have some facts. Some Flapjack facts. Now, first off, these little buddies move around a little bit differently than a regular octopus would. Normally, octopuses use sort of like a propulsion system, but this guy flaps his arms to get to and fro. I initially thought that that's why they were named Flapjack octopuses, but it's actually because they have a very gelatinous body, and they live at really intense depths of the ocean. And when they lie down on the seafloor and they're hanging out, they just look like a sweet little baby pancake. And those have been your Flapjack facts. I hope you enjoyed. Also, I did not forget to make this squirrely, weird beak baby. He's perfect. I love him. To finish off our friendly little fellow, I just painted the undercarriage and added some freckles. Now it's time for us to move on to the sea angel, and not to spoil anything, but buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. For the sea angel, I've got a little bit of a unique plan that we're going to be executing. Some of you may remember the Cicada-kun clay. This little critter here is particularly translucent, and I'm trying to figure out a way that we can get this sort of like cool, orange, fiery, glowy body to show through something. If you guys remember the Cicada-kun clay from some of my other videos, once it dries, it actually goes completely see-through. My comment section has been full of people telling me different ways that I could get it to go see-through faster. I think the game plan for these little critters is that I'm actually going to make the center pieces out of polymer clay in some different shapes. I'm just going to kind of try and figure out the shape first. So I'm going to brainstorm the shape out of polymer clay, then figure out how big the inserts are going to be, And then I'm going to make it out of the more expensive Suketo-kun clay, so I'm not wasting anything, because this stuff here is like the Rolls Royce of clay. It's like so expensive. Okay, so I'm really happy with this initial shape. I am going to use this as a template. I'm hoping that the way that I've built this, it will be able to support its own weight as well, and it can just stand up like this. For our nondescript innards, I just made some little balls out of polymer clay and turned them into pills, and I highlighted them with some yellow and gold so that they would shimmer from the inside. I will never get over how stretchy this stuff is. Marshmallow taffy. Not sure what's going on. Maybe it's because there's a little bit of water on my hands, but it's a little bit crevicey. I want it to be nice and smooth. No, a little bit better. I just have to be really gentle with it until it kind of starts to dry, but it does crack so easily. And it's also so greasy. Please stay there, thank you. The little wing flaps. Because it's so oily, everything kind of stays separated. I just want the internal bit to be center, which I can't really tell if it is. I didn't realize just how tricky this stuff is to work with. Like, you see those big cracks on the side? I'm doing everything in my power to try and get rid of them. I do think now if I was gonna do this again, that I might try doing a sculpture and then pouring some resin around it instead. And this still has a couple of days to dry to prove me wrong. So one of the comments I got was that I needed to leave them in sunshine, so I popped them on a plate and did that for about 2 days. This guy over here is kind of losing his head. I am starting to see a little bit of something coming through in the back there. Whoa, no! They are starting to go a little bit see-through. It didn't really feel like things were moving fast enough, so I took another commenter's advice and I put them inside of a food dehydrator for 3 days. Our sea angels have spent 3 days inside. What do they look like? Like, you can see some of it coming through, but realistically that is not the effect that I was hoping for. I'm really disappointed, and I don't know if it's because I put it inside of this dehydrator, but they're really, really cute. It's a really cute concept, and if I can just figure out how to get it right, we'll be having a great day. Okay, so I have found a little bit of a tutorial online that talks about a way to make translucent polymer clay actually look like it's glass and majority see-through. So we're going to turn the temperature on our oven down, and I'm also going to be doing it in 2 different ways. The first one is that I'm supposed to cook it at a very low and slow temperature to release all of the gases out of the clay, and then I'm supposed to cook it at a very high temperature. We haven't got anything to lose. There are some cool as heck references online made by older ladies that are just like chilling out. I love polymer clay blogs. If you guys are ever looking for like a cozy afternoon, people like PHYLLIS go ahead and they test everything out and they make all these cool charts. It's pretty phenomenal, some of the techniques that you can get out of this clay. Subscribe for more PHYLLIS. PHYLLIS recommends a clay called Plebo, which I do not have, but I do have Sculpey 3, and it says that it is translucent on the package, so I'm hoping it'll work. So I've actually never tried this before. We are going to be putting, Any hoodle-doo. Let's try this again. That was a lot. I think that's a bit too much. It said to place these in a little bed of cornstarch. And then she said to put it inside of aluminum baking tray. I don't have that, but I do have aluminum foil. So I'm just gonna make a little tent out of aluminum foil and fingers crossed, hope for the best. Okay, let's check it out. Still a little hot, but a little brown. This may just be like snow angels. She said that I'm supposed to put it on top of a tile. I don't have a tile. I do have a Teflon pan. Crank up the temperature and bake them for another half an hour. Good morning, oven. That didn't work one lick. Dang it. I really like the shape. I'm very much wanting to make this work. Let's just rinse him off. If we could get this to be clear, what a magical little friend we would have on our hands. Although this technique, durability wise, like having little bits that stick out like this, usually they would do like a crumble bar. So I feel like PHYLLIS has taught us something about polymer clay anyways. And yes, this is a little bit darker than I would like, but I'm gonna check out her blog more. PHYLLIS is the moment. She's got some hot tips. There's always one style when we do these videos that gives me a ton of trouble. And I thought that it was gonna be the mantis shrimp. Nope, turns out it's the sea angels. I have one last idea. That's it. And then I'm all out of ideas forever. There will be no more ideas after this.
That I'm going to use one of these two to make a mold. There are a couple of lumpies and bumpies on it, but I'm just going to sand those out, smooth those out. I think I'm gonna try doing it with both of them because I think this one would be easier to decast and get the resin to come out of. But this one overall, I kind of like the shape a little bit more. It looks more ethereal, if you will.
Now, I'm not very good with resin. You guys might have heard me say that I am not looking forward to doing this part of the project because I'm not a fan of how resin is. I'm not confident or experienced enough to explain it to you guys properly, but I do have a wonderful friend here on YouTube. Her name is Nicole. She also goes by Fairies and Fancies. While we were discussing how I could make this project work, she was super helpful. We had a conversation where I discussed the potential of purchasing myself a pressure pot because it could really improve how my casts with resin work. I'm hella afraid though because pressure pots are basically like putting a bomb in your house. It's not actually gonna explode, but it could. She's been nice enough to walk me through some of the particulars of this project that I was struggling with. If you guys are looking for an adult to give you advice, I highly recommend checking out Nicole. She's really nice. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and sand these and turn them into molds. Now for our mold today, I'm doing a more simple process that I like to use for my smaller sculptures. Basically, I cut the top off some Dixie cups and then I glued them real good to a piece of cardboard. I then used a little dollop of glue to make sure that our friends were stuck inside before pouring out my favorite mold maker, which is Mold Star 30. I mixed it together in equal parts and filled our molds to the brim and decided that it might be nice for us to take a little bit of a break from the sea angels and move on to the axolotls for a little bit. Let's catch up with these guys later. Okay, so one of the main reasons that I have been avoiding the axolotl is because of the little fringe that comes out of its cheeks. But I just thought back to when we did our weird mushrooms and I did that dripping technique with a little bit of liquid Sculpey. Liquid Sculpey, after it's been cured, still kind of keeps its flexibility. And I realized that if I can get the fringe to do the similar thing, we will be in business. So it's just gonna take a little bit of like playing and messing around, but I think that we might be able to create something that we can attach to the rest of the axolotl.
The first sibling up here just looking on resentfully at the younger siblings like, Mom, why couldn't you get it right with me?
And it'll work just fine. Like, I'm fairly confident that we've got this before we've even started. But I say that now. You never know what could happen. I thought that because we had the Sukeru-kun clay that those angelfish were gonna be just like, a bam bam, no bam bam, no bam bam bam.
Alrighty, so these are back from the oven. The translucent clay has gone completely clear. Only, look at that. Look at how neato speedo that is. And see what I was talking about? No muss, no fuss. I'm gonna get all these off of here and then we can start building the axolotl bodies. So, something that I did not think about while I was making and worrying about the gills is actually the little frill that goes onto the tail. And I think the frill would look phenomenal if we did it with this here. I'm just trying to decide what technique Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Wait. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm just gonna quickly pour out some different frills for the back of the tail so that I can pop them in the oven. And by the time I'm done sculpting, hopefully they should be dry and ready to use. Because now that I figured out how to do the little gills, I absolutely have to do the little tail frill. The possibilities are endless for the accessorizing here. I mean, really, truly. The tricky thing with these guys is keeping them balanced because they do want to keep falling on their faces like this. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a challenge when assembling them. Tiny disappointed mouth. How could you make me and not give me arms? Promise, I'm getting there. Oh Lord, the arms will stop that, hopefully.
The arms also made our axolotl look like it was clutching its chest in surprise.
I think for this particular size here, we are going to have to trim these down just a little bit. I like it to be flamboyant, but I feel like this might be just a little bit much. That will never not be amusing. Ta-da!
If you're new to axolotls, which I am and most people aren't, I found out that those frills that I was scared of actually are their lungs, which I thought was really cool. They can gulp through their mouth, but they use the frills to absorb extra oxygen from the water.
Guys, Look at the little flaps. Oh my gosh. I do think at first glance, I was just really enamored with the translucent, but I'm gonna add a little bit of red and pink here. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below. Please tell me which one do you think looks better, and I will make that one for our next shop update. We are going to be having our shop update on April 11th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure to set your alarms, mark your calendars, and sign up for our email list if you'd like to get a notification of when that's gonna be happening.
The main reason that I was so stoked on the translucent was actually because I could do a cool blending effect on it that I'll show you guys later in the Moody Glamour shots. Now it's time to get back to the sea angels.
It's been 24 hours. It's time for us to demold and hopefully see if our final shot will work. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning. I'm so excited to get these out and see if we can make this work because I love the idea so much. Like I am legitimately tearing into these like an animal. I always hate this part because I know I'm gonna have to break it, and obviously there's a part of me that's like screaming having to do that. You never want to have to break your own art. Not too bad. Thank you for your service. Okay, so before we test these molds out, I am gonna make the little filament to sit in the center. And you guys might be wondering, well, how are we gonna stick that in there without it floating right to the top? I want to make like a little rig.
For the center of these resin pieces, I also thinned out our clay a little.
Just gonna use a little bit of super glue and pop this in here. And then I'm going to be building an apparatus using some of these disposable chopsticks that I have kicking around the house. Nice, and I'm gonna get some scrap clay and stick the little butts in it. This is a testament to the fact that things don't have to be perfect and beautiful in order to function. Get some elastic bands, get some tape, and just kind of seal these together so that hopefully there's no leakage when we go to pour our resin. Oh, ow, ow. Please don't do that again. Thank you. I'm scared of them now. Oh my gosh, I'm knocking over the can. All these other channels are like, come cozy craft with me. And I'm like, come watch me blow something up. It could be myself. Okay, this looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix our resin together and get these in a situation that I think looks good. Looking good.
I was pretty excited because I have the most experience using this resin, and it turns out that our little guys in the back were excited about me using it too.
So that we can be a little bit more forgiving of the bubbles, and because I don't have my pressure chamber yet, I am going to add some of this glitter that will hopefully mask a little bit of the bubbles. I'm bobbing around in there trying to get it in a position I like and make sure that it's not touching any of the sides, but I can't actually tell really where it's at. So I guess it's just kind of, we gotta wait and see. I'll see you guys in 24 hours when these are ready. It has been 24 hours since we put these in. Hey, it'll pass. The glitter is definitely forgiving a lot of our mistakes. That was a good call. That was a good call. Struggle was worth it for sure.
The pill-shaped innards were cool, but I decided I wanted to try a more accurate to realism sculpt on the inside.
So I'm gonna go ahead and make an attempt here to see if I can actually get this the way I want it. And it's time for the Moody Glamour shots. So I'm gonna show you the finished result in there. Enjoy.
And there you have it. I think that they turned out so cute. I tried to make them as accurate to the real thing as humanly possible. Even though I love our final version so much, there is a special place in my heart for the second rendition that we did, and I feel like my perfect one is somewhere in the middle. Please let me know which of our sculpts was your favorite in the comments below. I'm always so excited to see which one becomes your new favorite family member. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to interact in some way so the robots from the algorithm know that you enjoyed what you saw and we'll show it to more humans like you. And if you're looking for ways to support the channel, just remember we are going to be having that shop update on April 11th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you sign up for our email list, you'll get notified of when we are going to have them in stock. Thank you so much for being so awesome. Remember to be nice to yourselves and take care of each other. Okay, I love you. Bye!